So those guys, Milroe, you talked about. A lot of people very disrespectfully don't think Milroe can throw. And my problem with that is you can't tell me that a guy can't throw when I just watched him carve up the best defense in all of college football 2 years in a row. Like 2 years in a row, Jalen Milroe's only game he was able to throw was the game when he was playing the best defense in the world. Like, what are we doing here? It makes zero sense. What are your thoughts on Jalen Milroe? Where do you believe he has to improve in order to kind of reach, maybe not even reach his ceiling, but to get to a level of consistency that's going to allow all of the other talents that we know are just, you can't even like dispute them to take over?
Well, I mean, I think really the thing that stands out the most is probably not as huge of a deal, but I think he can be a little bit better with what your Giants fans are going to see, which is the moon ball that Russell Wilson throws on deeper routes, on fades, being able to drop the ball in with touch. I think that that's an area where when you watch Milroe, he has the most compact release of any receiver or of any quarterback I have seen, honestly, since Dan Marino. Like, it is the most compact I've seen. His dropbacks are great. And it's just unbelievably quick. He looks like he's throwing a javelin in the deep game. I mean, it's just like, it's a beautiful thing to watch. What I want to see is maybe
you think it's better than Michael Penix's, because Penix is
sweet. Yeah,
the
it's
way
great.
that he releases is chef's kiss out there.
It's up there. It's up there.
Okay.
I just think that the difference is that with Penix has touch, like in the vertical ranges.
Okay.
Whereas Milroe maybe needs to angle up the body a little bit, get his feet where he needs to work on the mechanics so that he can drop the ball so it comes down and he gets the top of the ball coming down a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So when he's having certain honey hole shots are a little more difficult for him. Certainly the fade routes can be a little more difficult for him at times where he's throwing it more on a line. Okay. Yeah. But when it comes to the thing that to me that's more important than all of that, because that's a mechanical thing you can work out, I think, with work. The thing that's more important that is hard to coach once you get to this level, and you've got to show signs of it now or you're never going to have it, is how you process information on the field. Not on a test, not on a whiteboard, but when it's coming down. And you've talked about the Georgia game. And I saw a play, and I've seen multiple plays like this with him, but the Georgia game stands out the most, that no one in this class was able to do something comparable to this. And it's really dense with skills that you want to see from a player. And they were running a mesh concept where you've got receivers working across the field in opposite directions towards each other. And he drops back on that play, and there's pressure coming off of his, I believe it's off of his right side, over the right guard. And there's a bull rush coming. He drops back initially. He's got very strong drops and good quiet feet in the pocket, the ability to just make small maneuvers. He's not dropping his head, pulling the ball back, making jump cuts and spins and all of that. He's keeping his eyes downfield. And he drops back. He looks off. His first read's to his right, the receiver to the right. And he comes off of that, and he knows the mesh is starting to intersect, and he's got the middle linebacker sitting in there, and he's got to move that middle linebacker for him to be able to hit the mesh receiver on time before the bull rush gets into his lap. And most quarterbacks, we say, oh, they manipulate. You hear a lot of guys say that, and they're just talking about the bare minimum of looking off the deep safety during the second and third steps of their drop, and then they don't even manipulate it long enough. It's hard to manipulate middle of the field defenders. And Milroe's the only quarterback I saw in this class consistently be able to end of his drop, standing there in the pocket, knowing he's got a 300-pounder pushing his guard into his lap, be able to go, okay, time to look off the linebacker late and hold that linebacker. And in the minute that linebacker moves 2 steps to the left, he's already turned and thrown the ball. You know, it's not like, oh, he turned. Who's open over here? That's not what he's doing. It's I'm waiting for him to
I'm
do that.
waiting
The
for
minute he
him to
does,
move.
I'm pivoting and throwing. And he's very good at being able to quickly make the move so that he can throw an accurate ball. And he did that repeatedly in a way that I saw nobody else in this class do in that range of the field in the scenario with pressure. So the fact that he can manage a pocket, the fact that he can manipulate defenders, that he can go through multiple reads, and that he can do it in a quick fashion with tight people around him. Sure, he can't throw a fade route as well as I would like to see right now.
Yeah.
Sure, maybe the offense that you're asking to do might maybe it's not as expansive as some of the other offenses that teams would say that they feel that way. I don't know, but I know that what he does well, he does at a level of mastery that's harder to teach when you get in there. Alex Smith knew lots of stuff, but he was as slow as an economist at predicting what was going to happen on the field, and he was
Yeah.
always late throwing the ball because he was great at the test and at the whiteboard, but when it came to I know how to manipulate and when to get the ball out with great time, and I'm going to stand in there and do it. Very different type of skill sets, and Milroe has that, and that's high level processing. So I'd rather build on a quarterback who can do that and then also run in the open field like Matt Forte when he needs to.